Konnichiwa, Yam Fam! I'm so excited today to teach you how to make a delicious Italian marinara sauce with meatballs and sausages that has been passed down through my father's side of the family for generations. My great-grandpa Antonio came over to America in 1905 to Ellis Island in New York City, and he helped build the New York City subway tunnels. That must have been a lot of work, but at least when he came home from a hard day's work, he would have some delicious home-cooked meals waiting for him. And those meals have been shared through multiple generations, and now I'm sharing them with you because food is the ultimate uniter of people. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this marinara sauce recipe with meatballs and Italian sausages. And of course, if you make this meal, please leave a comment below this video and let me know how you like it. Here goes! Hello, my lovelies! So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make my family's famous sauce recipe. Now, this is passed down through a couple generations of Italians that came to America in the early 1900s and helped build up New York City, the subways, the bridges, you know, they dug the tunnels, they did all that hard, dirty work, built the roads, got all that going. And I learned this recipe from my dad, who learned it from, I'm guessing, his mom and his grandma and his father. So, yeah, this has been passed down quite a few generations. And I'm going to teach it to you guys because I can. So, this is the ingredients that you will be needing to make the meatballs and sausage marinara sauce. So first you're going to need some sausages, and I like Premio brand. I got these at Walmart. They have them in a lot of grocery stores. Obviously, I'm in the northeastern United States. So I got hot sausages, sweet sausages, and I also got these Italian style meatballs, which are mixed with pork. You can make your own meatballs from scratch. I sometimes do, but I'm also just kind of like lazy. And, you know, me and my duck hubby really freaking love these meatballs. Like, they're every time I make them, he's like, oh man, I wish you got the ones that were pre-made. And then we need some Hunt's tomato puree and a can of tomato paste. I like Hunt's brand because it tastes really good, but, you know, wherever you are in the world, use what you got. Big can of puree, little can of paste. Then we're going to need garlic, an onion, some olive oil, and in this little coochie kopi jar I have sugar. Then we got salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, basil, oregano, and I also have a little bit of ground fennel and ground coriander. So I'm going to switch over to this camera here and start filming the magics. Stay tuned, y'all. We gotta chop up that garlic and that onion first. That's gonna be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Usually I'm lazy and I use the pre-chopped garlic in the jar, but today, because of all of you, I'm going to go all out and make it special and go through the pain of peeling all these garlic cloves. And you get to watch. So, enjoy. Alright, so here we go, guys. I'm going to chop up some onion and garlic. I'm going to do the garlic first because the onion makes me cry. So we're going to put that little bad boy right there. Get the big knife. I don't know. Is this allowed on YouTube? Is this too violent? Do I have to censor this knife? I'm going to move some stuff over. I need some room here. Now, obviously, because I'm a cute little fun VTuber, I do not want to be in the video here. I don't want y'all to see what I look like. So we're gonna try and be as incognito about this as we can. Now first I gotta get this dang garlic open, so. Yeah! Yeah, this is a locally grown, so this thing has a very tough stem in the middle. Yeah. So we're gonna just get all this stuff out. And because, you know, I'm at least 50% Italian, well, Italian, Greek, Albanian, technically, I am going to use all of this garlic in this sauce because, you know, we like to keep the vampires away. Oh my god, yeah, there's a lot of dirt in here. Oh crap, that's mold. Oh no, that's not good. We're gonna have to censor that. Oh no. Suffice to say, this garlic has been sitting there for a while. Holy crap. That is really bad. Everything else I have is fresh, just not the garlic. We're gonna save what we can out of this though. I think like these look fine. Yeah, these are fine. That's fine. And the rest of that is, yeah. There's that one. I think I'm going to throw away the rest because that's scary. Don't eat moldy things, people. We're going to just chuck those. I'm going to edit that part out because I don't want people to think I'm cooking a moldy food. We're going to wash the cutting board. Oh my god, what a disaster that was. Figure something has to get weird when I start. Just getting some soap. Scrub this thing right off here. Bam! Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. 3 nice garlic cloves. That's what we got. And that is not enough, so I am going to get the jar of the pre-made garlic. Okay, this stuff right here, this is good. It's like garlic ready to go. Get a spoon for it. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Alright, so we're gonna chop this garlic up. We're gonna chop it up. I'll do 1 clove at a time. I don't really do the like curling my fingers thing like a lot of chefs do because I just have a hard time doing that, you know? I don't know. But I am very careful not to let the knife slip and not to cut myself. So I'm just mincing up the garlic. That's about right, you know, just little chunks like that. And cut off the end. We don't need that end part. So yeah, just chop, chop, chop that garlic. Chopping up the garlic. It smells so good. The vampires don't like it, but you know, they're not invited to dinner because they're not going to eat sauce anyway, you know? Yeah, no. Okay, we get this all nice. Choppy chop chop. Yay, this little end piece can go. That looks a little bleh. But yeah, since apparently I don't have quite enough fresh garlic, I only have 3 cloves left, I am going to also use the jarred garlic, which is what I usually do because I'm lazy. But you know, for you guys, I figured it'd be special to actually chop up some fresh garlic. Because this is how, you know, my dad does it. And he's always like making fun of me, you know, for taking shortcuts like buying the pre-made meatballs and, you know, using the pre-chopped garlic in the jar. But like, hey, you know, whatever works. The sauce still tastes the same. It doesn't really matter whether the garlic is fresh chopped or not. Okay. Alright, so there's that. Beautiful little pile right there. I like to use like literally, I don't know, double that amount, I would say. So, yeah. Now, let's zoom in on this baby. So next we're gonna chop up that onion there. Yeah, let's zoom in on that. Here we go. So, first we got to get the peel off. This is the most unappealing part. So I just chop both ends like so, and then it just comes off like that. So we're just getting all that outer peel off. And these onions, they could be a little strong, so I don't know, I might be crying from doing this. If you don't like onions, don't worry about it, because in the sauce they really do cook down to like nothing. Like, you're not really gonna know they're there. But they definitely add some nice body and flavor. So, like, literally onions and garlic is a super important base for a lot of cooking. So, you know, if you hate onions, try it anyway. You won't even notice, trust me. Alright, I just chucked those in the garbage. Let me get this garlic in the garbage too. I like to clean as I go. And every time before I cook, I make sure the sink is clean, I make sure the garbage is thrown out, like I make sure everything in my kitchen is clean, like nothing to worry about, so I can just cook without worrying about anything. Alright, so I cut that onion in half, and now, slicey slice. I don't have, like, you know, yan can cook kind of knife skills. Chop, 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 chop. If you're old like me, you'll know what yan can cook is. Oh my god, I'm so old. Woo! See, that could have been bad. That could have been bad right there. But, you know. That was a near slice, but I go very slow and I'm very careful how I hold the knife. So even if it slips, I don't cut myself. Very, very rarely do I ever cut myself when I'm doing kitchen stuff. Okay. So yeah, we're just, you can cut the onions as fine as you want. I'm just dicing them down so they're a little bit smaller. I'm not crying yet, so that's good. I'm also keeping my face away from it as best I can. But yeah, you see how I slice the onion. So yeah, here we go, choppy choppy. I'm still not quite crying yet. I've been doing really good to like not unleash the full fury of the onion. So I think we're gonna be okay. Ugh. It's always the very end that, like, you know, the layers start to come apart and it starts slipping in my hand, and that's the danger zone when you're cutting up onions and you get to the end piece. Gotta be careful. Tasukete kure! I meant to say kiotsukete. Kiotsukete. That is be careful. Tasukete is help me. My Japanese is very fuzzy. I have not gotten to speak Japanese in a long time. Anyway, here we go. So as for, you know, while I'm cutting onions, I might as well tell you guys, I started teaching myself Japanese when I was in 10th grade in high school. Because growing up, I was a really big otaku, which nowadays they call it a weeaboo, but back then they called it otaku. And I know in Japan, otaku has a negative connotation as like somebody who never leaves the house, you know, like completely agoraphobic, and they play video games, watch a lot of anime, read a lot of manga, and they're like a complete recluse in society. But in America, we kind of adopted the term to just mean that you're a really big fan of anime. So that's kind of, you know, how I associate it. And that was the deal. So I started teaching myself Japanese when I was in 10th grade. And reading and writing hiragana and katakana. And, you know, just basic elementary level stuff. And then when I went to college, I took Japanese classes the whole 4 years that I was in college, and I made it up to an intermediate level. I knew at that time a little over 200 kanji, which I have since forgotten just about all of them. Because, you know, the unfortunate thing is if you don't use it, you lose it, and you don't read it, you don't write it, you don't remember it. And a lot of my Japanese reading and writing stuff was like just studying for quizzes and then barfing it out onto paper and just forgetting it. So there wasn't a whole lot of, you know, actual memorization and not getting to really use it. Like, I didn't have Japanese pen pals or anything like that. So yeah, it's unfortunate. But, you know, I do have a fondness for the language, and someday I hope to go to Japan and really get to, you know, practice and refresh my memory on so many things. So, here we go. Alright, so we got our onion, we got our garlic. We're going to use extra garlic when we get to making the sauce. But before we make the sauce, I want to go over the spices, of which we have quite a few. So let me move this out of the way. This is just going aside for now. I am going to do something I never do. I'm going to show you guys the measurements of the spices. Because in our family, we measure with the palm of our hand. And I have absolutely no idea what the actual measurements of anything is, because we cook with feeling, like Uncle Roger says. So we're gonna just, you know, figure out how much we actually use. So the first thing, salt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump it in the palm of my hand, like the amount that I would dump in the sauce. Okay, so a good palm full. And I'm gonna guess that 1/8 of a cup right there, maybe. Either that or like, I don't know, 2 tablespoons? Let's see how much fits in a tablespoon. Oh, look at that. Oop, I did drop a little on the plate. So, okay, so salt is almost a tablespoon. So we're just gonna dump everything on this plate in a pile because it's all gonna go into the sauce. And then for black pepper, let me get that off my hand. We don't really use too much. I would say, yeah, let's see. Let's see how much that is. Maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon. Okay, yeah, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Alright, so we have a tablespoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Alright, and then I also use ground fennel, which I had to grind up myself because I cannot find ground fennel in the stores anywhere. I'm gonna have to order some online. So yeah, ground fennel, I can't find this in the stores at all. I always find like fennel seeds, so I had to get the fennel seeds and grind it myself. But I'm gonna finish off what's in this jar, honestly. And then I'm gonna have to go online and like buy some more. So let's see, I don't know how much this is. We're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna say like 1/2 teaspoon. Yeah, okay, so like 1/2 teaspoon of ground fennel, if you can find it. Like I said, I can't ever find it in any of the stores anymore, so I'm gonna just like go online and see if I can order some. If you want to know, it's basically what you find in Italian sausages, so. Alright, and then ground coriander. And I think for the ground coriander I use pretty much the same amount, so
half a teaspoon. That's about right. I use about the same amount of both. Get in there. Boop. There you go. So yeah, we got a tablespoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, half a teaspoon of ground fennel, and ground coriander. And now we're getting on to the most important spices for the sauce. And I know we use a lot of these, so garlic powder. And you'll see, like, I have these humongous things because I use a lot of this. Make a lot of sauce in this house. Alright, so that's about how much garlic powder, which I'm going to guess is another a tablespoon. So let's see, let's pour it in there. Yeah, so basically when I say I use a palm, it's a tablespoon. Alright, so there's your garlic powder. And I also put in onion powder. I love onion powder. It's like, but you already have onion and garlic in the sauce. Well, we need more! Is this not authentic Italian-American cuisine? So we're gonna do, yeah, a nice tablespoon of the onion powder too. Yeah! Yum yum. This is what makes the sauce so good. Also, if you have high blood pressure and you need to like cut back on the salt or use a salt substitute, you know, you're on the DASH diet or something, don't be afraid to, you know, not use that much salt because we don't want you to die. Take care of your heart and your cardiovascular health. Alright, now the next two spices. Basil. Woo! So here's what we do with the basil. Now you can use fresh basil, and in the summertime I do because I can grow it in my garden. Pour yourself a nice palmful, and again we're going to say it's a tablespoon. And my dad taught me that to release the oils and really like enhance the flavor of this dried basil, you're going to rub it between your palms. Like so. So there we go. I don't know if you really have to do that or not. It's just this is what I was taught and it's family tradition. So maybe there's truth to it that it releases the oils and adds more flavor. I don't know. Leave a comment below. What do you think? And oh yeah, final ingredient. Almost final. Oregano. And again, you can use fresh if you grow it yourself, but we're using dried herbs for now because it's cold here where I live. So again, we're going to grind it together with our palms, just like that. Alright, so there's only one more ingredient, and that is Coochie Kopi. Just kidding. It's sugar. So when it comes to sugar, I kind of like my sauce to have a little sweetness to go with all this savory, you know? So I'm gonna say maybe half, like I don't know, like a teaspoon, we'll say. Heck, 2 teaspoons. Is that a tablespoon? We'll just say a tablespoon. I think yeah, it looks like a tablespoon. I don't do math, guys, just so you know. So we're going to use a tablespoon of sugar because that helps like de-acidify the sauce and it just brings these flavors together. It really marries them. Alright, so we're going to review these spices one more time. So we have a tablespoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of black ground pepper, and then we have a teaspoon of ground fennel, ground coriander, and then for all the rest we have a tablespoon of garlic powder, onion powder, basil, and oregano, which you're going to grind up with your hands. Just, you know, rub them together, get those oils out. And then a tablespoon of white sugar. This is what gives your sauce amazing flavor, and this is the base for the marinara sauce, which can be used for a lot of different sauces. You can just have it as plain marinara sauce, you can put mussels in it, you could put squid in it with a little bit of crushed red pepper. You can put anything in it, really, any kind of meat. Like you could put chopped meat in it. Like I would recommend seasoning the chopped meat and frying it beforehand, but you get the idea. So next we're gonna move on to the messy part. Cooking! Woo! Okay guys, so we are on to what I call the messy part of this process, the cooking. So we have to saute the sausages and the meatballs. And I do that in a pan with some olive oil. So let me get this olive oil here. And again, I'm using extra virgin organic, which, you know, that's good stuff, so you use what you want. We're not picky here. So I poured in maybe like, I don't know, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, just, you know, enough to coat the bottom of the pan. We're running that around in there. Okay, so we are going to turn on the stove. I'm going to start it off on a high heat just to get the oil hot, get this going. So one of the tricks that I do is, because I mix hot and sweet sausages, I do like little cuts in the sausages to kind of let people know what's what. So for like the hot sausage, obviously they're red color, but when everything's in the sauce, everything's red, you know? So I'm just gonna do like a long cut so that we know this is a hot sausage. So, you know, if you got anybody in your family that doesn't like spicy stuff, you'll know which sausage is which. Okay, so we got those. And now, sweet sausages. And for the sweet sausages, you can see they're a completely different color. I do just like three little pokes. And another reason you want to like poke some holes in the sausages is because, you know, you don't want them to explode when they're cooking. They're going to be releasing juices and what have you. So I just poke some holes in them. And obviously don't stab yourself, you know. You don't have to do this like I am to showcase it. Boop, boop, boop. Now I'm going to lower the temperature because once I hear the oil start sizzling, this stuff gets, like my stove gets really wicked hot really fast. And then the next thing is the hot popping oil of doom. And I hate hot popping oil of doom. It's inevitable. I'm gonna get hot oil popping on my skin. I'm gonna scream in terror. So we're just gonna lower that down right now before it gets to that point. Now I have a pair of tongs here because I am a little wussy and the hot popping oil legit scares the crap out of me. I hate it. So I'm just going to be turning things. Whee! Yeah, you can see that hot popping oil already. If you have an air fryer, by the way, this also works really good to just throw these in the air fryer for like 20 minutes to brown everything, which I started doing, but like I want to show you guys the traditional way that I was taught to do this without like all the cheating. But yeah, you can totally just do this in the air fryer and avoid hot popping oil altogether. So yeah. So we're just giving these a turn, and you can already see the hot sausages that were in there first. They're already turning a nice golden brown. Oh yeah, look at that. Sausage domination. Right now we are on like a medium-low heat. Because on my stove, medium-low seems to be good so the oil doesn't get too angry. Because angry oil is not fun. We do not like angry oil. It's still going to pop anyway, it always does. But yeah, basically I just turn the sausages so that every side of the sausage gets cooked on the outside. Now obviously these are not going to be cooked all the way through. These are going to get cooked thoroughly once they're in the sauce. But for now we just want to sear them. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that, beautiful. Beautiful. Also, my pan just don't heat up evenly either, which is annoying. This is a really old, kind of not great stove. So everything like right here gets cooked really good. And everything on the other side is like not. So we'll be rotating stuff around. Like we'll just pluck this guy, put this guy over here. And also the stove's not even, so all my oil pools to one side. There we go. Throw some sausages over there. This one's looking really good. See, this is how you want your sausage to look. Whee! Hot poppin' oil. Hot poppin' oil. Woo! Woo, pop! I can feel it. Oh God, you can hear it. I did up the heat just a tiny little bit. And now the oil's getting angry already. I told you the oil's angry. It got my thumb. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah. Now it's getting like dangerous every time I gotta turn a sausage. It's like life or death. But they're getting there. They're almost perfectly brown on all sides. I do not recommend trying to do this quickly on like high heat. Like get that oil super blazing because it's just gonna pop real bad at you. And oil burns are really no joke. Ooh, this smells so good. So I'm going to take these ones that aren't cooking as much, and I'm going to move them to the hot spot right here. So I'm going to just yank. Look at that. Look at that oil. Look at how much that's bubbling. That oil wants to murder you and your unborn children. We're just going to stick a sausage right there. Oh my God. It's getting scary now, guys. Woo, it's getting scary. Woo! This oil wants to murder everybody. Getting scary. So I just moved these sausages into the hot corner because my stove doesn't heat my pan very evenly. Ah! It's getting me! It's so hot! Oh my God. This oil burns. This one really got to get turned. Woo! So these two, wow, it's hot! I'm scared. I hate this part. I do not like frying stuff in oil. Not like this. Oh my God. Like these two sausages right here are just about done. So I have a plate on the counter and I'm going to start plucking them out. So this is how you want them to look, nice and seared, because it keeps in the juices and the flavor, you know. Woo! So we're going to take out those, put them on the plate. And all the ones that need a little more cooking are gonna go in the hot part of the pan where the mean evil oil is. Holy God, this is popping like crazy. So yeah, these sausages are all pretty much ready. They're all done. Absolutely gorgeous. They smell phenomenal. Yum, yum, yum. So I'm going to pluck all of them out one by one and put them on the plate. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start putting in the meatballs, and we're going to fry them in that sausage oil. The olive oil sausage fat. Because we're not doing the healthy thing here, you know, we're just... Everything's going to saute in that fat, and it's going to be glorious. Maybe not for your arteries. But you know what? My cholesterol is great. My blood pressure is good. And I eat this stuff, so you know. don't worry about it. Alright, so I'm going to just move this oil over a little. Look at that. Yeah. So that's hot olive oil mixed with the fat from the sausages. And now we're going to take our pre-made meatballs that I got from Walmart that are freaking delicious. Don't judge me. It's Italian style 3 cheese meatballs. And we're going to take those puppies and we're going to put them in the oil, and we're going to gradually raise the heat and get these sauteing too. So, woo! Alright, yeah, I'm going to turn the heat back on. So we're going to put it at like that medium low. And get these all in there. Woohoo! So yeah, these are like, I think they're fully made of pork. But you can do like ground beef or, you know, pork or chicken or turkey, whatever. Whatever kind of meat you like. If you make your own homemade meatballs, it's the same as making like a meatloaf, you know. So you take your meat, your ground meat, you mix it with a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese and some garlic powder, some Italian seasoned breadcrumb, and an egg. And then you form it into little balls. So that's how we do meatballs. And you could add more seasoning to it if you want. That's just how my dad does it, just grated Parm and garlic powder and Italian breadcrumb with an egg. He keeps it real simple. For me, I might add like a little bit more seasoning into it. But I love these pre-made meatballs. They are just so good. And my duck hubby, he prefers them over my homemade ones. So I'm like, okay. Hey, it saves me a lot of work. I'm a lazy cook. You know, I work like all the time. So anything I can do to save myself some time. This kitchen smells absolutely wonderful. So we're going to do the same thing with these meatballs that we did with the sausage. We're going to brown them on all sides. Now obviously you see these little black spots. That's just because there's stuff on the pan from the sausages. So that doesn't mean these meatballs are like burned. It's just little remnants of the sausage that came before. The ghost of sausage past. Okay, we're just going to be turning these little suckers around, get them to brown on all the sides. And then we're going to move on to actually assembling the sauce. Yeah! By the way, this is like me and my duck hubby's favorite meal. Like #1 favorite meal, for sure. This is like one of the best dinners. And we have this at least once a month, if not like every 2 months. Depends. You know, sometimes we just get into like a spaghetti phase. It gets made pretty often, let's just put it that way. Also, this meal makes enough for like 4 to 6 people. So yeah. Now typically there's more meatballs and sausages than there is sauce. So like a lot of times I might have to whip up an extra batch of sauce because we just have way too much meat. What a problem to have, right? Oh my god, these look so good. Yum! Now right now the oil is still not like angry yet, but it's gonna get there. Angry hot poppin' oil. Oh my god. My god. Move this sucker right over here. See, I just keep turning them. And these are like pretty small meatballs, so they cook pretty quick. And again, we're not looking to thoroughly cook them. Like obviously they're going to be raw in the middle. We're just searing them on the outside to keep all them juices in so they don't get all dry, you know? They're nice and moist inside the sauce. And for those of you that can't stand the word moist, moist, it's a great vocabulary word. Moist. Said it again. No trigger warning. Alright. I don't know why that became a thing, like why that word disturbs people so much. Yeah, buddy. I'm going to put this meatball right over here. I'm trying to get them all closer to the side of the pan that tends to heat up more. And same thing with the sausages. Once these are done, I can pluck them out and put them on a plate, which we will eventually be dumping into the sauce. Also, the one thing I hate about cooking stuff in oil is this gets everywhere. Like, I always have to wipe down the whole stove, everything around it. I mean, man, when you cook with oil or you fry bacon, anything that's got fat that's popping, it just gets all over your kitchen. Like your cabinets, your walls. Everything is going to be covered in grease. That's the price you got to pay for some good home cooking. Just how it is, you know? And obviously, you know, you could put on one of those little ventilation stove hood fan things, but mine doesn't ventilate to anywhere. It just blows it around, so... Because I live in a really cheap apartment. And this stove and everything here is like ancient, so it's like you get what they give you, that's pretty much it. So yeah, these are pretty much ready. They're at that nice, you know, golden brown that I want to see. Oh yeah, look at that. Ooh. Oh yeah, these are beautiful. Beautiful. Also, shout out to Hachama. I hope she comes back. The very first VTuber I've ever seen was Korone, because my duck hubby, you know, found her on YouTube and then was like, what is this? And obviously he started just showing me VTuber clips all over the place, and then he became obsessed. It took a while for me to really care. I was like, yeah, that's cute. I think it's kind of cool. But I wasn't really into VTubers for a long time. Like, you know, he'd show me all these little shorts and clips, and I'm like, yeah, they're funny, but, you know, it kind of grew on me after a while. And then 6 years later, here I am. I became one. How'd that happen? Oh yeah, y'all, these are looking good. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off the stove. Yeah, these are beautiful. These are ready. They're ready for a saucy existence. They're going in. Oh yeah. That's what you want. You want this nice golden brown. So we're going to turn the burner off. And we're going to start plucking these guys out and put them on a plate. And then we are going to assemble the sauce. I hate hot popping oil. Also remember, kids, do not drain this into your sink. Don't do it. You want to clog your sink real bad. Yeah. Like, have yourself some kind of like an oil can, you know, a bowl, something that won't melt, by the way, because this oil is hot as hell. This is like hotter than Satan's left testicle right here. You're going to want to pour that hot oil into a appropriate container. Alright, next up, we have a big pot. I don't know what size this pot is. Like, I think it's like 2 quarts or something. Oh, and also, I'm American, so, yeah. Like, you know, my measurements are American. So, sorry for anybody who's from another country. You can Google what, you know, 2 quarts is. Okay, so I'm going to use a can opener and open up my puree and my paste. Now, I use an electric can opener because I don't like to torture myself. Now, for the paste, you're going to want to, like, can open both sides, and I'll show you in a moment why. Alright, so first thing we gotta do is coat the bottom of this pot with, you guessed it, olive oil. So put a splash in there, and again, I'm gonna guess it's like maybe 2 tablespoons. I don't know, I don't measure it, just make sure the bottom is coated. That's all you need. See? Just coat it like that. Turn on your heat. I'm going to put it on high just to get it going. Get it started. Hi, Bibble. We have a Bibble. She wants to help. That's right. Oh, is that so? So now take some time to talk to your pet. Your cat, your dog, whatever. Have a good conversation while you're waiting for your oil to heat up. Riveting. Yes, that's so beautiful. Alright, now you can see the oil starts to like wiggle. It gets a little wavy looking. Now you toss in like a little test piece. Ah, see, it's not hot yet. But I put in a little test piece of onion, so when it starts sizzling, you know it's time to throw in your onion and your garlic. So what we're going to do next is we're going to sweat the onion and the garlic. That's the term for it. I don't know why they call it that, but we're going to saute it until the onions look a little bit translucent. See, now you can see it's starting to bubble right around that onion. So now we know the oil is hot enough. We're going to put in our garlic and our onion. Just a warning, The onion can still make you cry, especially in this phase when you start frying the onion in the olive oil. It releases all that oniony tear gas. So yeah. And I'm also going to add a little bit of this because I only had like 3 cloves of actual fresh garlic. And I need more because I like a lot of garlic. So I'm going to add a heaping, honking like tablespoon of the jarred, diced up garlic. Now I got my handy dandy wooden spoon here. Give that all a nice mix. Oh man, that smells so good. So you want to make sure that you do not burn your onion and garlic. So I put the heat on medium right now. And all I want to do is get the onions to where they're a little translucent. And then we're going to put in the tomato puree and the tomato paste and some water. And then we're going to add in all of our spices and our meat. And that's pretty much it. You just throw it all in there. Okay, let's give this a little stir. I see I got like a piece of onion here that didn't quite get chopped up, but whatever. That'll be perfectly delicious. So again, for people who don't like onions, you know, these are going to be like super soft in the sauce. Like, tomato sauce is the best way to eat onions because you wouldn't really know they're there. But the flavor and the body that they give a sauce is just wonderful. I couldn't imagine a tomato sauce without onions in it. So, that's just my 2 cents. Give it a try, you might like it. So yeah, we're just sweating those onions and garlic. And you'll know when the onions are translucent, because right now, like, it's taken on kind of like a yellowish white color. But like translucent is when the onions become almost like a little see-through. Like glass. See, it's starting to happen on this little piece right here. So it's almost there. And this also, it helps like release all those like fragrances and oils and juices and just absolutely delicious stuff. Yeah, that looks good. Oh yeah. Also, I'm using a wooden spoon because this is obviously a pot that has a non-stick coating, so you don't want to use like metal utensils because you're going to scratch it up, and we already are full of Teflon and microplastics, so you know, I don't know how much more you want in your body. If I could, I would cook everything in cast iron, but I do not have a giant cast iron pot, and that would be really freaking heavy. I've been definitely learning how to cook in cast iron, and I really do like it. But yeah, for now I'm just using my non-stick Teflon poison carcinogenic, you know, pots that I got at Walmart. Yeah, you use what you got, you know? Alright, so these are ready. You can see like it's starting to get a little tiny golden brown in there. You do not want it to go further than that. So we're going to pour in our sauce. Okay, so in goes a can of puree. Use a spoon. And now we're going to fill this can with water all the way up.
Hi, Bipple. Say hello to your Bipple. Yay.
Now obviously you're like, oh my god, you're pouring water into hot oil. Well, yes, we are. But don't worry, it'll be okay, I promise. Now I'm going to put the temperature on low because sauce heats up real quick and tomato sauce pops like crazy. So give this a stir. Beautiful. Yeah. Now we can take our tomato paste, and remember how I said I want you to cut both sides open? So we're going to take one side out. And then we're going to use this lid to push the rest out. Like so. Whoop, just like that. Woo! It's a little tube of tomato. Get that all in there. Bibble is currently rolling around meowing. Oh my god. Let me see if I could show you guys this cat. Hi, Bibble! Oh! Hello, Bibble. Hello, Bibble. Oh, you're stealing the show. Here you are. Hello, Bibble. Oh my god. This is how you get a viral video. You just have to have a cute cat. Oh. Bibble cat. Bibble cat. Aren't you adorable? She's adorable. Alright, let's get back to the sauce, because she's probably going to like lick her butt or something. Yeah, you want to lick your butt? Back to the sauce. Okay, gotta refocus. There we go. Beautiful. So now we gotta mix up our tomato puree until it completely dissolves. Now what this does is it re-thickens the sauce. So the puree is like pretty watery, and obviously we water it down even more, and the paste just brings it back to the right thickness that we need. Stir, stir, stir. Also, my camera is just covered in freaking fat. Like all that frying, there's like literally a layer of freaking oil and fat on my camera. That's gross. I'm never doing this ever again. Just one time for you guys. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna do more cooking streams, but definitely not with like hot popping oil. And if you guys have any like recipe ideas that you want me to make, feel free to like put them in the comments. You know, like what kind of meals would you like me to cook? If you have any suggestions or recipes, you can post them in my Discord server too. Alright, so we got this sauce looking good now. See, this is a nice consistency right here. It's not too watery and not too thick. It's just right. So we are going to add in our seasonings. Right here, all nice and plated out. So remember we have, again, I'm going to go over it one more time because in case anybody's tuning in and they weren't here. So we have a tablespoon of salt, garlic powder, onion powder, basil, oregano, sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then a teaspoon of ground fennel and ground coriander. Into the pot with all of ye. Get it all in there. Yeah. Stir it up real good. Get it all mixed in nice. And you're going to want to give your sauce a taste because you want to make sure it has enough salt. And sometimes I might even add a little more sugar because, like, you know, I like my diabetes in a pot. I want it to taste good, you know? My onion powder's a little lumpy, but it'll work itself out. When this is cooking, it'll all dissolve, so I'm going to give this a little taste. because I want to make sure that everything's doing good. I got another spoon here. Scrape that off. Yeah. Just want to make sure I have enough salt, so because salt is the thing that draws out all the flavors of all the different spices. Alright, let's give this a taste.
Bruh.
Oh my god, that is so perfect. That doesn't need anything. That is perfect. That is like super freaking delicious. Oh my god, guys. Alright, now we're gonna add in our cooked meatballs. Trying not to splash too much. And our sausages. Yeah. Look at all that fat. Oh my god. This is not a low cholesterol meal. If you have a bad heart and you can't be eating pork fat, this is not the meal for you. Because these sausages are made out of pork. The meatballs are made out of pork. So yeah, mix them all in there. Oh my god, this looks so good. Oh my god. I get very excited about food. Alright. So now, there's not really a lot we gotta do. So I'm gonna turn up the heat to medium, get it simmering. Then I'm gonna lower the heat back down to low. Put a lid on it and just let this sucker go for like 40 minutes to an hour. Just simmering. So that like the meat infuses the sauce with all that fat and flavor. And all of those like spices and ingredients really get to play together and make the most delicious Italian-American meatball and sausage marinara sauce you've ever had in your life. I promise. If I was rich and I could have like patented this and jarred it and sold it in stores, I would have. But yeah, this is my family recipe. And I hope you guys make it for yourselves because everybody who's ever had this absolutely loves this sauce. And everyone I've ever taught it to, like, loves making it. So, I want you guys to make it and then tell me what you think about it. So, we're gonna end the footage here and I'm gonna start it back up in an hour and we're gonna go over how to make the spaghetti. Ciao for now. Okay, my lovelies. So we are going to give this a little stir now. Just a heads up. You obviously have to stir this because you do not want all that sausage and meatball goodness to stick to the bottom of the pot and burn. So you have to stir it periodically throughout the hour that it's simmering. But when you open up the lid, guess what? Tomato sauce is vicious. It's awful. It likes to pop at you. It wants to burn you. It wants nothing more than your misery. So what I do is I'm going to turn the burner completely off. And I'm going to wait just a little bit. You know, just give it like a minute. When you see those little bubbles in there starting to die down, then you know, like, alright, it's probably safe to give this thing a stir. Like, I'm not chancing it right now because I'm a wuss and I do not want to be attacked by hot popping tomato sauce. So I'm just waiting. Alright, let's give it a peek. Alright. It looks like it's safe. It's still bubbling, but it's not like viciously bubbling. Alright, so we're gonna give this a nice stir. You want to really dig down to the bottom. Get all that sausage and meatball goodness. Anything on the bottom, give it a good stir, nice and thorough. Okay. Alright, now you're going to turn your burner back on. Again, I got it at like, my stove has like from the number 2 all the way up to like 9, which is high. So I have it on 2 right now, so it's like low. Now put the lid back on. Leave that sucker alone. Maybe in another like 15-20 minutes, give it another stir. And over here is my spaghetti pot. Now I am only cooking for me and my duck hubby, Malmaganzer, tonight. So this is a meal for 2, and obviously this sauce makes a lot, so this is literally what we're going to be eating all week, pretty much. And over here we have a Meatball.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Let's zoom in on the Meatball. Yeah, we gotta zoom in on the Meatball. Meatball. Do you love cooking shows? Do you want to be famous? You want this video to go viral? Tell everybody to like and subscribe. Yeah, good girl. And tell everybody on Twitch to follow. Come on. Tell them to follow.
Oh my god, she's so freaking cute. Yeah, so hit that follow button and subscribe. All the things. We'll be back in just a moment because we're going to be cooking up some spaghetti, and I'm going to show you guys how to make perfect spaghetti. Al dente and delicious. Ain't that right, Bibble? Yeah. Yep, she's excited.
Meatball.
Yeah, lick your butt. Everybody just wants to see that. Yep.
Meow. Mama, mama, mama.
The battery's dying. But anyway, we'll charge the battery while we wait, because the sauce still has to cook for, you know, like, I don't know, 30 more minutes or so. We'll be back! Alright, guys, we're at the very final stage of this delicious dinner. So now I have to boil water to do the spaghetti. So let me get the stove on, because we need that. So now this is something you can do, you know, my dad recommends it, is you can put a little bit of salt in the water, because that just helps it boil a little quicker. Obviously put the burner all the way up on high, and I'm going to cover with the lid to increase the pressure and the heat and the steam and all that stuff. And Bibble is hungry.
She's so hungry right now.
And oh my god, look at this. My burner's smoking. I think like some oil got on there. Oh my god.
Why is this happening? It's smoking so much.
I don't know if it shows up on the camera, but yeah, this is smoking. Whatever's on there is going to have to burn itself off. As for our sauce, it's been simmering now for pretty much close to an hour. So it is done. I'm going to turn this off and just let that bubble down. I did give it a stir a couple of times, so it is good. So we will be back once this water is boiling, and we'll get some spaghetti thrown in there. And I'll show you guys how to make the most perfect al dente pasta. And here you guys get a little bonus footage because Bipple wants her dinner. She's hungry. So we're gonna give Bipple her din. She gets nulo, beef and mackerel. Oh, she's so excited. Give her half a can. And I got it on this wide dish because, you know, her whiskers are sensitive. Here you go, Bipple.
That's the Bipple. She wants her din.
Here you go, Bipple. Let's get that Bipple having her kibble.
Bipple, kibble to nibble. Oh, she's a hungry.
I gotta clean her mat. Her placemat gets messy. Because she eats like a little pig. And then her other bowl down there has catnip in it. But this is Bibble's favorite thing to do in all the world. She loves to eat. Isn't that right, Bibble? She loves her dins. So we're just waiting for that water to boil so we could finally make the spaghetti. Any day now. Takes its sweet time. So you guys could enjoy watching Bibble snarf down her dinner. And then, you know, after she's done, she's gonna beg for more. But I will not give it to you, no. No. This cat, she demands food like every 3 to 4 hours. Sometimes even every 2 hours. Sometimes even immediately after she eats. She always wants dins. Ain't that right, Bipple? Yeah, she's a hungry. Such a hungry Bipple. This is such a special moment. Ain't that right, Bipple? Meanwhile, the water is almost boiling. Whoop, she done. She left a few pieces. They won't be there long.
Yeah, you a happy cat.
We're moving back over to the stove. Zooming out. Now we're getting somewhere. So when you make spaghetti, I mean, I don't know, like, if there's those of you watching who literally never cook and don't know anything, but you want to make sure your water is at a hard rolling boil before you throw in your pasta. That is a hard rolling boil. Now, Mal and I, we are pigs, so I make a pretty good portion of spaghetti. Because again, it's for 2 people, so this is like a lot. Now, I don't eat it all. I end up putting a lot away, and then I have it like later or for breakfast or whatever, so. But I make a good bit. Now, I know real Italian people are like, no, you cannot break your pasta in half. Sacrilege, whatever. Sometimes I break it in half, sometimes I don't. But I'm gonna do it today. So all of you full-blooded Italians out there are screaming, I'm sorry, I'm American, I do what I gotta do. And I'm going to use my sauce spoon. Give it a stir. You want to stir it right away because you do not want your noodles to clump together. And you're going to bring that back up to a hard rolling boil. And for spaghetti like this on my stove, it takes like 15 minutes for it to cook till it's completely al dente. And you'll know when the spaghetti is ready because you can just like pull out a strand and just bite into it and test it. And also there's going to be a lot more starch and foam like at the top of the water. I am going to lower it to kind of like just a bit below high because the other thing about cooking starchy things like spaghetti, macaroni, stuff like that is like it will boil over. Like when it gets that starchy white foam, it wants to just completely come up and just go everywhere. So that's something where you gotta lower your heat a little bit. Giving it a stir. Beautiful. And once this is done, I will plate up the din din and you guys get to see what me and Mal are having for dinner tonight. I'm very excited for this meal. We will be back in 15 minutes. Alright, we are finally here. Look at this beautiful bubbling spaghetti. As you can see, the starch is at the maximum bubbliness right now. And look at that spaghetti. Look at it. Beautiful. So I'm going to pull out a little piece so I can do the chew test. Whoops. Getting one strand is not easy. But I'm pretty sure it's done, but I just, I want to test it anyway. There we go. One solitary strand. Of course, it's super hot. Blow on it. Yeah, that is done. So we turn off the stove. And now I'm going to drain the pasta. So I'm like super lazy. I just use the lid and I drain it in the sink that way. So let's take a journey. Take a journey to my sink. Alright, so we're gonna do this. Now you can see it absorbed most of the water. There's really not a lot of water left in here to drain. Might not be the best for my plants, but whatever. There we go. There we go. Now, bring it over here. We got our plates. And yes, these are, Halloween fall plates. Don't judge me. I like pumpkins. So we're gonna get a nice bit there. And there. Whoops, I lost one. Yeah, buddy. Oh, and also I know it's common for people to like have a salad and also some garlic bread with a spaghetti dinner, but like I can't eat that much. I love my vegetables. Like I'll have a salad for breakfast, so don't you worry. I get my veggies in every day. But when I eat this meal, like the spaghetti, the meatballs, the sausage, that is all I can eat. Like I cannot have bread or anything else. It would be too much. And now, the final moment. We're gonna serve it up. So here we go. Gotta open up this beautiful pot right here. And this ladle is from like the 1930s. It's a left-handed ladle passed down from my grandparents. Been in the family a long, long time. So it's kind of like a family heirloom. Alright, so first I'm going to get a nice copious amount of sauce. We drown our spaghetti in sauce here. Make sure it's fully saucified. And then I don't care what kind of sausage I have, hot, sweet, whatever, doesn't matter. I like to do 2 meatballs and 1 sausage. And because this is, you know, on YouTube, I'm going to refrain from positioning these things the way I normally do because I have a very 12-year-old boy sense of humor. We're gonna keep this PG so I don't get canceled out the gate. But yes, there you have it. There's one final ingredient. Da-da-da-da! Parmesan Asiago and Romano. And this also is from Walmart, so, you know, I am very copious with my cheese. And that, my friends, is a delicious spaghetti dinner. So I'm going to plate up another plate for Mal, and we're gonna sit and watch TV and chow down. So, yeah. That ends this video, but Amayame is still with you in the stream, even though this was pre-recorded. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.